course,
This
we'll be talking
conference will now be recorded.
in this course, we'll be talking about complete DevOps methodology. Okay, DevOps strategy, DevOps pipeline, DevOps tools, and so on. Okay, before we begin, like I said, every topic will be taken from the basics and will be proceeding so that there is no prerequisites for the course. Okay, we assume that everyone is new and will proceed from basics till advanced on every topic. So today we'll understand first of all what is DevOps, how to implement it, why we need DevOps, right? We'll get a complete understanding or a big picture of DevOps pipelines, like particularly the CI/CD pipeline. So yeah, this is the agenda of today. Big picture of DevOps. Okay, roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, DevOps delivery pipeline, DevOps tools and skills, right? So let's talk about what is DevOps first. Why we need DevOps? We are learning DevOps. What is the idea of this DevOps methodology? Um, can you all see the screen now? So like I said, first let's talk about what is DevOps. Okay, we'll understand what is DevOps and then we'll proceed. See, when we see this term, we can easily understand it's a combination of two terms or two teams, development team and operations team, right? So who are these teams? Who are the people involved in these teams? Let's understand. I assume there might be people who are coming from IT background, so you might be aware of these basics. There are also people who comes from different background, different experience levels and all. So we'll take up the basics. Okay, so what is a development team? Who are the developers? See, people who write the programs, who write the code, right? These are called developers or development team. Okay, these people are involved in writing the programs, writing the code, right? So who are ops teams? Ops teams are nothing but admins, network technicians, DBA, right? Support persons, middleware, all this comes under ops teams. Of course, here programmers who write the code. Also, I'm including testers here, QA engineers, quality assurance engineers, right? Automation test professionals. I'm including testing team also into this development. Okay, so what are the major tasks of this development team? The major tasks, like I said, they write the code, they design the application, they develop the application, right? Also, because I included QA here, they test the application, they make sure the application is defect free, because only once the application is defect free, right, it can be delivered, it can be provided, it can be deployed for end users, right? So these are the major tasks. Of course, they does many things, but these are the major tasks. Similarly, ops teams, what is their major task? They manage the servers. They take care of the services running on the servers. They take care of network connections, access, logins, right? All of this will be taken care by ops team. In short, we can say infra management is taken care by ops team. So these are the major tasks, or these are the two teams who work for developing an application. Of course, for developing an application, there are many teams involved in, right? We are using some user as an end user, means it has come across so many process, it has gone through so many process and many teams are involved. But here I am talking about the very important teams or the major teams like development team, testing team and operations team. So developers write the code, testers test the application, operations make sure the infrastructure is good and make sure the application is running and end users can use it. This is in short, in very brief, what these teams does. So what happens now? A complete infrastructure is managed by ops team. Means if development team needs any task to perform, or else let's say they need some change in the operating system, or else they need some change in the services, if they need any change to the infrastructure, okay, they would request the ops teams. Okay, ops teams should serve the request of dev team by providing their requirements, by satisfying the requirements, right? So this is how they work. Means ops team supports dev team by providing the required infrastructure. Everyone can hear me. Whoever cannot hear me, please check your audio part. Please try to rejoin. Whoever cannot hear, or if anyone cannot see the screen, means some problem from your end, some settings you should check from your end, audio settings. Okay, you check once from your end. Okay, so here these two teams support. Ops teams provide the infrastructure to dev team. In this process of providing the infrastructure, ops teams have to do lot many checks before they make any change, isn't it? Because if something goes wrong, they should be able to handle it. Let's say dev team need a service to be started. So ops teams, before starting the service, they have to do a lot of checks. If this service is started, how it's going to impact the infrastructure? Is any impact on the infrastructure, right? So any infrastructure going to be affected, any services, other services going to get affected, any networks going to get disconnected, any access going to get affected. All these they should check before they serve the request, because ops teams always should make sure that infrastructure is stable. Okay, whereas dev team is always taking care of, means they always need some agility, some changes in the infrastructure, whereas ops team should take care that infrastructure is always stable and available, right? Means they have got different requirements, their perspective is different, so there arises some gap between the teams, because see, ops teams don't know why or what requirements developers have, why they are requesting their changes. So ops team think that they're asking for changes which they are not sure of. Similarly, dev team think that ops team is taking too much time to serve the request, because meanwhile dev team is waiting for the change they need, right? So there arises some gap between the teams, because there is no proper collaboration, there is no proper understanding between the teams. So how to eliminate this gap between the teams? How to eliminate this barrier? How to eliminate this gap? How can these teams work with proper collaboration, with proper understanding? How is this possible? Yes, anyone, how to overcome this gap between the teams? So that ops team should understand, okay, why they need this change to the service, or why they need this infrastructural change, why they are requesting these changes. Yes. How to eliminate this gap? See, you can unmute and speak out, you can be interactive in the class, so that sessions will be more interesting. You can also
Uh,
use chat window.
Maybe you need somebody else to fill in that gap.
Okay, you mean some other team who fill in this gap and who makes the team collaborate well. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there should be some strategy or some methodology which can overcome the gap. So there comes actually DevOps into picture. So why here I'm talking about the reasons why DevOps came in. There are many reasons why DevOps came in. One of the reasons are to eliminate the gap between the teams. One of the reasons is to eliminate the gap between the teams so that the team collaborate well. Here dev team and ops team having gap, dev team means QA team also, right? Those teams should have proper collaboration, proper understanding. So that's where DevOps came in. DevOps is a methodology, a strategy, a process which can eliminate the gap. But you may be asking the question, how it eliminates? We'll be learning that throughout the course. How is all practical? Okay, we'll be implementing DevOps strategy practically so that you will implement how. So, but yeah, first it came to eliminate the gap between the teams. Is that the only reason why DevOps came in? There are also other reasons. Let me talk about the other reasons here. See, generally developers write the code, correct? I'm talking about the second reason. So developers write the code. Okay, once they have completed the code, they'll hand over this code to testing team. Means QA team. Maybe the testing could be done in automation testing or manual testing. Again, different levels of testing. I'm not talking about that. So they just hand over the application to QA team. This QA team will test the application, will check if the application is bug free, defect free. What if there are any bugs? If any defects or any bugs are identified, they'll send these bugs or defects to the development team, right? Development team will fix it, again send to testers. They will test it again. This process keep on repeating till the application is defect free. Okay, once the application is defect free, yes, it's completely ready. Then it should be provided, it should be deployed on production servers for end users. So who will do that? So once developers write the code and once the application is defect free, this will be handed over to the ops team. See, I'm talking about the traditional approach, not the, this is not the DevOps approach. Okay, I'm talking about the traditional approach so that we understand the importance of DevOps. So that will be handed over to ops team. Ops teams, what will do? They have to deploy the application and see that the application is available for end users. Means deploy means in simple, you just understand, install the application on the servers for now. Okay, that's a simple term. So they have to deploy the application on servers so that end users can use it. So to deploy this application, they should check the compatible operating systems to run the application. Means they need to configure the servers. They need to install all the required packages for this, right? Let's suppose this application is Java. Which version of Java is needed? Okay, what are all the other web servers or whether application servers required? Which version of them? They should figure it out. They should configure all of them. Also, this application may be deployed on different servers like Windows servers, Linux servers. So what are the steps to configure the application on each operating system they have to work out, right? They have to check out whether the application means the steps of installation. These steps may be different from different operating system. They have to figure it out. There might be some mistakes happen there. Okay, they have to rule out those errors, mistakes. They should fix it. Finally, the application should be running, right? This takes some couple of months also, right? And so how do they get the compatible operating systems? Which versions of software? Developers, along with providing the application to ops teams, they'll also provide the instruction document which helps to install which packages, which versions of software should be installed, because they develop the application. They know what software should be there on the servers. Of course, ops teams will follow the instructions, but still it's gonna take a lot of time. It takes a lot, there will be a lot of delay in deployment process, right? It takes a huge time to make the application successfully run. This is happening because of all these problems, the compatibility issues, the versions issues, all the steps in the instruction document should be followed. Sometimes the instructions given by dev team may not be understood by ops teams. Also, sometimes those steps may not be working. All of them should be sorted out before the application is deployed to the end users. Correct. So this is what happens. And why is this happening? Why don't developers instructions work perfectly? See, these are the two teams which work with the who has different skill set. Means developers have skills of some programming languages. They might be having some knowledge of build automation tools. They might be having a knowledge of some database knowledge, right? They might be testers also included, so they have automation testing knowledge and all. Their core skills are different, whereas ops teams, their skills are different, right? They know, they work with deployment process, they work with configuring the servers, they work with creating the infrastructure and all. So their skill set is totally different, right? Both of teams have their skills, a different skill set. Their core skills are different. So whatever instructions provided by dev team may not be working in reality, or else may not be properly understood by ops teams. Means again there is a gap because of this difference, right? Each have got their own skill set which is totally different. Means these teams have their core competencies are different, their skill set is different, but still they have to work together in the process of application development and deployment. So there is a lot of delay by the time end user sees the application. So how to overcome this delay? How can we speed up? How can we increase the velocity of deployments? How can the applications be deployed faster, right? Faster deployments, how to increase the velocity of deployment so that whenever the application is developed, it should be immediately available for end users by going through all this process. Means complete automation is required, right? So how to automate this entire process? That's where again DevOps comes in. But how? Yes, I'll tell you in brief. Developers write the code, testers test it. Okay, once the application is defect free, in DevOps methodology, they will hand over this application to a team called DevOps team, not a separate operations team, but DevOps team. What is the difference between DevOps team and Ops team? DevOps team is a team who have the complete knowledge of automating the process of taking the application to production servers without any manual intervention. Means, okay, developers team is still there. Developers write the code. Testers will test it. This is same in DevOps also. But now the application will be deployed by DevOps team who knows the complete process of automation. Means configuring, installing the packages, all of them is automated. That is going to be really interesting. How this process going to be automated, what are all the tools we learn, how it is possible, that's what we'll be learning here. So DevOps people or DevOps team is nothing but who can automate the deployment process till production servers without any manual intervention. To do that, you need to learn certain tools, certain strategies, which we'll be learning in this course. Am I clear till this part? Everyone, I want responses from every one of you. I'm expecting all of you are active. So is it clear? Any questions in this part? Appreciate your quick responses. Thank you, Amit, for confirming. Thank you, R. I'm seeing a name as R. Thank you, Sindhu, for confirming. I believe it's clear for each and everyone. Right. So yeah, this is how it works. So you deploy the application automatically. But what are all the tools? Yes, we'll be talking about that in few minutes. So these are the three reasons. There is one more reason as well. Okay, why DevOps came in? We are talking about why we should go for DevOps. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about the fourth reason. To understand this fourth reason, let's talk about the traditional software development methodologies. Means let's talk about the software development lifecycle. What is meant by software development lifecycle? SDLC. I believe everyone know what is SDLC, but if you don't know also, no worries. This is just some understanding. SDLC is nothing but the process, the sequence of activities involved in developing an application. Means whenever you develop an application, first phase is requirement gathering. Means collect the requirements. Okay, then requirement analysis, design, coding, and testing. Okay, these are the different phases. Means it just goes after one after the other. First, requirements will be gathered from the client, then they'll be analyzed. After analysis, they'll design the application, then write the code, test it, and also then delivery. Right, these are the main phases which goes in sequence. Means only one after the other. After coding, testing begins. After testing and after the application is ready, it will be delivered, and then maintenance. So these are the activities involved. Yes, I'm talking about, there are so many software development methodologies. I'm talking about waterfall methodology, which served the industry for decades. But still, it posed lot many challenges to development team as well as testing team. What are the challenges it has posed? Sorry, not testing team. I'm including testing in development as well. So ops teams, right? Yes, this methodology has posed a lot of challenges. This methodology is basically very slow, right? It's not, it takes a lot of time, right? It's very slow. Also, there is no flexibility, meaning once requirements are given, let's say in 2020 requirements are given, and the application will be delivered in 3 years, 2025. In between, meanwhile, no new requirements or new modifications are accepted. If that is the case, if they are not accepting any new challenges or requirements, it doesn't work in reality, because in this 3 months, sorry, in this 3 years, a lot of changes might have happened. There is no going back. Suppose we are in coding phase. Okay, if there is any new requirement, there's no going back and analyzing and coming back. So that's not there. So no feedback. It just goes only in one direction, and hence it's called waterfall. Not at all flexible. It's slow. Complete software will be delivered all at once after 3 years. Meanwhile, no client gets no application. Client have no idea how the application is, right? So similarly, ops teams also I mean, they have faced a lot of challenges, like because they need the project, the methodology is slow. They need to maintain servers for longer duration, which is again a challenge, right? Configuring the servers manual. Here I'm talking about everything manual. Okay, no automation. configuring the servers manually. If let's say there are 1,000 servers, configuring each and every server manually is a challenge. Poor monitoring because no great monitoring tools were used. Right? These are the challenges of waterfall methodology. Again, to overcome these challenges, okay, there came agile methodology into picture. See here, my intention is not to teach you agile or waterfall, just some understanding. Agile, another methodology came in. Yes, it can overcome challenges of dev team, but challenges of ops team were still there. Right? It could not overcome the challenges of ops teams. Dev team challenges were solved. Okay, but still ops team challenges were there. So there comes another methodology called Devops. Devops, what is Devops now? It's a methodology. There is a methodology called Devops which can overcome challenges of both dev team and ops team. Right? So that's how again Devops came into picture. Means why Devops came in? To overcome the challenges of the traditional software methodologies. Right? Got it clear, everyone? Understood the difference between three methodologies, right? So this is what happens. But how DevOps can be implemented, how it overcomes and all we'll discuss. But this is what happens. Here we are talking about Agile. Yes, Agile overcomes the drawbacks of development team. But how? Yes, it's possible because in Agile there will be every week or every alternative week there will be deliverables, right? And code is development and testing happen parallelly. What does it mean? Suppose there is a week one. Here code will be developed in bits and chunks. Okay, let's say on week one, a chunk, a bit of code A is developed. On week two, immediately this chunk of code A will be tested. Meanwhile, developers will be developing another chunk of code B. Okay, A is developed. Here A is tested. Here again B is developed. Again on week 3, okay, A plus B may be combined and tested. Then only it makes complete product, right? All these parts should be combined and tested. Means if you observe here, every week testing and development is happening. Do you see that? Means testing and development is happening parallelly, iteratively. Thereby what happens? Whenever there is a code, immediately it's going to be tested. Unlike in waterfall methodology, it's not tested after 6 months. It's not slow. So yes, immediately it would be tested. If any bugs are there, it would be fixed. And whenever this bit of code is ready, it would be delivered to the client. Means code will be available for them every week, every alternative week, not after 3 years or so. Also, it can accept any changes because every week development testing is happening parallelly. It's not serially after complete development testing begins. No, that happens in waterfall methodology. But here development testing goes parallelly. Thereby it overcomes those drawbacks of waterfall methodology. And this process is called continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous integration. Continuous means parallelly, simultaneously. Integration means any new code changes will be merged into the system and then tested, build tested, right? So this is what is agile methodology. Anyway, we'll talk about this process in detail. We are going to implement, we are going to do hands-on on this completely, right? So just understand theoretically an overview. That's all. I'm trying to give you a big picture or else an overview. So understood everyone why DevOps came in? To eliminate the gap. Okay, so DevOps team is a team who have the complete knowledge of deployment process with automation, right? So they can understand the requirements of development. The requirements means why they need these changes, how they want to deliver and all. So it eliminates the gap. Faster deployments, right? It's not that now code is developed, it would be deployed after 6 months. No, immediately, maybe next day or next week, it might be deployed, right? Complete process of automation, no manual intervention. So it overcomes all the drawbacks of waterfall methodology. I mean, all the traditional methodologies. Clear till this part why DevOps came in now? So yeah, we understood why DevOps came in. Now let's talk about what is DevOps in more detail. How we have to start hands-on from tomorrow, how to eliminate this gap, how can we make the deployments faster and all. Now let's talk about what is DevOps. So what is DevOps? Now it's a methodology. It's not any tool. It's not a software. It's not a programming language. Okay. It's just a methodology. Okay. It's a process. What is a process? Process of whenever developer write a code. The process of automating this code, taking this code to production servers automatically. Production servers means it should reach the end users automatically. How to do that? There is so much process involved in between. All this process will be automated. Okay, who will automate it? Yes, the team, people, whoever knows, whoever learned this methodology of automation is nothing but a DevOps team. See, you might be having so many questions, like at this point, if I'm a developer, what do I do? Yes, you are a developer, but still you know this process of automation by using all the DevOps tools, and you know the methodology strategy. You can work as a DevOps person. Okay. Similarly, you are a tester, or you are a DB, or you are an admin person, right? Whoever learns, you have whatever you are, if you know this process of automation by taking your code till production servers automatically, of course not directly production, first to lower environments like testing, UAT, and then to prod. So whoever knows this process of automation, you can work as a DevOps engineer. Am I clear now? What do you do? So you should learn here in this automation. Yes, you need to know the process, you need to know the tools, right? You need to know the strategies of deployment. Whoever knows all of them can become a DevOps engineer. So that's what we'll be learning in our course. Am I clear now? So how can we define DevOps? The process of continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, along with the continuous deployment and continuous monitoring is called DevOps. See, if you want me to compare them with the traditional methodologies like waterfall, if you take a waterfall methodology, the main phases are like development. After development, testing begins. After testing, there will be deployment. After deployment, monitor the application of the servers of the infrastructure. But in Agile, yes, we have got yeah. Okay. So in Agile, you have got continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration. But again, deployment is manual and monitoring is also manual. Like after integration, it would be deployed. But here in DevOps, what do you do? It's nothing but continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. Means, let's say, okay, developers wrote some code. It would be immediately going for testing, integrate into the system, deploy it, provide this new code, provide this new feature to end users, and then monitor. So all of them is happening parallelly, continuously, iteratively, which makes a DevOps. But how is this possible? Through automating the complete workflow by use of the tools and the skills. Got it, everyone? The differences between the methodologies? Any confusions, any questions here? Thank you, Saraswati, Niranjan, for confirming. Any more questions from anyone? Shall we proceed? So what are the advantages of DevOps? Why DevOps should be there? Yes, the main reason is it can increase the velocity of deployments very fast. It can increase this velocity very much, right? That's what companies need, right? They need the deployments faster. They need the applications to be available for end users very quickly. And also it should be quality. Quality should be there. See, this is called as CI/CD pipeline. This one. Okay, I'll elaborate this. We'll be learning or we'll be creating this pipeline in our course on multiple applications. So yeah, because everything is happening continuously, any new change will go through this complete process. Obviously, quality is improved. Also, it becomes economical because it reduces the manpower. Initially, to design this pipeline, you may need 5 or 6 people. But once this pipeline is designed, you just need one person to monitor it. It is completely automated. Whenever developer write the code, it will pull, it will test, integrate, deploy, and monitor. How is that possible? Yes, that's what is CI/CD pipeline will be designed by DevOps engineer. So deployments were faster, quality of the product is improved, economical because it eliminates the manpower, and majority of the tools we are using are open source. So obviously it's economical. That's what companies need, isn't it? Many companies were already implementing this DevOps strategy. And by 2025, definitely almost every company will step into it. Already Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, all these gigantic companies were already implementing this methodology. In a couple of years, even a very small company will step into this. So whoever knows this strategy, whoever knows this methodology, who knows this process of automation will survive in the market in the coming future. So this is the right time to put a lot of effort, to invest your time, to invest your effort and learn this concepts and learn these tools. So any questions, let me know. Or else we shall proceed to the skills tool set. So what are the responsibilities of DevOps person? He should be involved in any process, any phase of this. Means continuous development or testing. Of course, here developers write the code. A DevOps person will not write the code. Okay, developer write the code. But once the code is written, how to pull it and run the test case automatically. Test cases will be written by testers again. But those test cases should be executed automatically and then merged into the system, deploy it and monitor it. So how is this possible? That's what is DevOps methodology, right? So now, yeah, a person, the DevOps engineer should be able to work at any stages in this pipeline. So what are the skills? What are the tools that a DevOps engineer should have? Let's see. So yeah, we were talking about an overview of DevOps, roles and responsibilities, delivery pipeline overview, tools and skill set. So we have already learned all of this. What is the waterfall methodology, the drawbacks of waterfall methodology, Agile methodology, why DevOps came in. Whatever I have explained is documented here. This is like a reference for you after the class. Okay, like a notes, you can refer this. And yeah, what is DevOps? I have already discussed this. So yeah, now let's talk about the tools and skills that a DevOps person should have. Yes, we are going to learn about Git, a version control system. Okay, what is a version control system? Git architecture, everything about Git, everything about each tool will be learned from the basics till advanced concepts so that you can clear any sort of interview questions there, right? So we'll be learning Git here, build automation tool Maven, continuous integration tool Jenkins, containerization tool Docker, infrastructure as a code tool Ansible and Terraform, container orchestrator Kubernetes, continuous monitoring tool is Prometheus or Grafana, and Grafana, both of them will be learning, and cloud computing services like AWS. Right, all of them will be covered. Whatever services required for DevOps strategy, those services will be going through. This is the complete tool set in brief. Of course, there's a lot many things like Docker Swarm is there, right, which will be going through. Docker Compose is there, right? This is just a outline of the topics which we'll be going through. Any questions on in this part? See, there are to learn this DevOps, we need to know Linux basics. Yes, this Linux basics also will be taught in the course. I'll be teaching you Linux basics to the extent that you can do hands-on and you can implement it. So we'll be learning Linux and also we'll be learning some shell scripting. And there is a question from a participant. The question is, as a DevOps engineer, do we need to know the language of the program which is being deployed? An Angular, PG, or an Applic Python code? No, Zayan. Means your question is, suppose you are deploying, you means you want to run a Java application. Do you need to know Java? No, not at all. Okay, the application will be developed by developers. It might be developed in Java, it might be developed in C#, Perl, PHP, whatever it is. A DevOps engineer need not know the language in which your application is developed. Okay, how to deploy, deployment strategies are different, deployment tools are different. Here we don't write any programming language, or we don't need any programming language. Okay, here we write some kind of scripting or some kind of coding which is not as the development code. Okay, this coding or this scripting is a bit different. Okay, you don't write it like a web development. Okay, here whatever we need, will have the format, templates, help in the documentation. Okay, that part we'll be learning. And then, yeah, this is the delivery pipeline. Can you all see this? Yeah, this is the CI/CD pipeline we were talking about. Of course, to create this CI/CD pipeline, it may take a month or more. Okay, we'll be creating this CI/CD pipeline from the scratch, and also we'll be doing it on multiple applications so that you will get a real exposure of how to do that. Right? See here, let me just give you an overview. Developers write the code and they place the code in a version control system. What is version control system? Git. But what is a version control system? Why they will place the code in version control system? That is for the next class. But just listen here, an overview. Developers write the code and place it in Git. That's a part of developer. Okay, done. Developers coding is completed. Now we will create a pipeline which will pull the code and build it. Code should be built. Means it should be converted into executable code. Okay, what is meant by building? All this we'll discuss in detail. Here just I'm giving you a brief outlook. Okay, so code will be pulled and built again by using some automation tools like Maven. Okay, then testers will be writing test cases. Those will be automated or those will be executed here automatically. Their test cases may be written in Selenium or JUnit, UFT, whatever it is. So run those test cases and then deploy it using Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, and so on. All of them is happening through Jenkins, which is a continuous integration tool. Once it is deployed, it will be monitored by Prometheus and you can visualize the dashboards in Grafana. And once it is monitoring, the respective feedback can be sent to the different teams like dev team, ops team, and so on. Here I am just giving to dev, but it's not always dev, to the respective teams. Feedback will be sent to the respective teams. This is nothing but CI/CD pipeline. Right? Just let me give you a brief, a one line about each tool. What is a version control system? Why developers are placing in version control systems like Git? Yes, Git is a version control system which will help you maintain versions of your code, which will help you have backup of your code. Okay, which will allow multiple developers to work simultaneously, parallelly, because there might be a team of 10 people, right? They can work parallelly on the same program file. So how is this possible? That's what Git does. So code developers write the code, place the code in a version control system. It's like their storage place for their code. Now, whenever there is a code, we need a system which should automatically sense, okay, there's a code kept in Git. It means we should integrate Git and Jenkins. Yes, Jenkins is like an orchestrator of the entire pipeline. What is meant by orchestrator? See, in a music band, there'll be an orchestrator, right? Orchestrator waves his wand and tell which instrument should be played at what level. He will not do any, he will not give any, he will not play any instrument, but he'll just give instructions. Same is the case here. Through Jenkins, via Jenkins, it will be pulled and built by Maven. Maven is the tool which will build the code. Build the code means compile the code and package the code, convert the raw code into executable. What is exactly we are going to do all of that? I'm just giving you one liner for each tool. So yes, Maven will pull the code and build it. Once continuous builds are happened successful, the test cases will be executed. Right? Once the test case also were fine, like everything is fixed, no defects, it would be deployed to the different environments. First, it would be deployed to test environments, then staging environment, then your UAT environment, pre-prod, and then to prod. So how is that possible? By using different tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform. What is Docker? It will help you containerize your application. What is meant by containerizing? That's again a different concept which we'll be learning and which we'll be doing complete hands-on containerizing that. So once it is containerized, those containers orchestration. What is a container and all we'll learn? Container orchestration means high availability of the application, load balance the application, auto scale the application. All of them will be done by Kubernetes. Okay, how do you do that? We will learn everything. Okay, so containerize with Docker, then orchestrate those containers with Kubernetes. Okay, configure the servers, configure the infrastructure management will be done by Ansible. Infrastructure creation, infrastructure provisioning will be done by Terraform. Whole process automated. See, initially we have to create the pipeline. Like I said, a team of people will be involved in creating this pipeline, like maybe 10 people, depends on how huge the application is and all. So once they design this application by integrating all these tools, it will take some time. In our course, it will take 1 month or more. Okay, in real project, it may be taking some years or 2 years or so, right, or more. So once it is designed, okay, it could be automated. Means with a single click, whenever developer write the code, automatically it will be pulled, built, tested, deployed, and monitored, right? So complete real scenarios of how to do it. We'll be getting into each section one after the other. Okay, we'll be working on each section closely. Create this phase means what I mean here. We'll first focus on this part. Learn Git thoroughly. How developers put the code in Git, you should learn that. Okay, once code is available on Git, how to pull it and build it. Okay, then we'll come to this part. Then the next section and so on. Likewise, we'll be learning each phase one after the other in detail. Here I'm just showing you all of them put together. We'll be creating this each one by one. So this is how each tool is used, and that all infrastructure will be building on AWS. So we also have different AWS services to implement this pipeline, like code commit service, code deploy service, code build service, code pipeline service, and all. What are all those we'll be learning here, right? And once it is deployed, Prometheus will monitor the health of the application, health of the services, health of the servers, and so on. And Grafana, through Grafana, you can have better visualizable dashboards, right? And then reports can be triggered to the respective teams. This is the complete CI/CD pipeline. We'll zoom into each section, each tool, and we'll learn everything in detail and create this CI/CD pipeline. That is the agenda of the course. So by the time you finish the course, you will be able to clear your interviews. You can clearly handle your interviews with more confidence and work in the projects, in the real projects, independently. This is what this course will help you with. Okay, Amit's question is, AWS is the #1 cloud platform followed by Azure and GCP. Still have found that companies use Azure most of the. Is there any specific reason for the same? There are many clouds available, Amit. AWS is still the winner in the category, but Azure is also picking up. Okay, the reasons might be different. Many reasons. The reasons could be the budget. The reason could be the environment required for them. Let's say if the application is generally a window-based application, or else the application needs certain services. Yes, Azure may be picked up. It has this particular thing is taken care by cloud architects. Okay, which cloud to choose is dependent on so many factors: client, budget, the resource availability, the type of the application you have. Okay, all these are concerns. This cloud decision will be made by cloud architect. And whatever, like suppose you have a lot of hundreds of service in AWS. In Azure also, yeah, if you need one, if you know one cloud, you can work on any other cloud very easily. That's what companies are also looking for. They are not expecting you to learn complete Azure, complete AWS, GCP, learn all the clouds. No, because that's not a possible, that's not needed also. Because if you know one cloud, you can work on any other cloud very easily, very quickly. You can easily switch over. That's what companies looking for. Because see, today we are having a more AWS, we are hearing AWS, Azure more. Maybe tomorrow some other cloud may be emerging in the market. We never know. So we should be ready to work on any cloud. Like I said, in AWS, you have code commit, or else in AWS, you have EKS service, Elastic Kubernetes service. In Azure, you have a relatively, there is a service called AKS. You work similar. The terminology may be different. The UI may be different. With a little effort, you can easily switch over. That is what companies are looking for. So you may learn Azure or AWS. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, there's a question from Zayan. Azure Devops pipeline and Jenkins are two different things for orchestrating the pipelines, correct? Correct, Zayan. There are Azure DevOps pipeline is there, AWS pipeline services are there, or else you have Jenkins as a pipeline service orchestrating the pipeline services. Yes, whether to choose Jenkins or whether to choose cloud specific services, it all depends on the application, the design. Okay, we'll be learning both. I'll be also showing you the differences at that point. And if you know AWS pipeline, you can easily switch to or work on Azure DevOps pipeline. So learn one cloud, learn or master one tool under each category. Okay, that is more than enough. Means, for example, like I said, like we discussed, there are a lot of clouds, like you have AWS, Azure, GCP, DigitalOcean, Linode, so on, so many are there. Okay, so which one to learn? Learn very widely used one, either AWS or Azure, anything is fine. Okay, similarly, if you take version control system, we are learning Git. There are many other tools like TFS. Okay, you have ClearCase, lot many version control systems are there, SVN, lot of them are there. We are learning Git. Why only why we have chosen Git? Because Git is very widely used in the modern DevOps project. Git is very widely used. Okay, you can see the trend reports. I'll show you the trend reports for each tool by comparing with other tools when we start the tools. So we are learning the very widely used, very famous tools, so that we have more openings, we have more scope to get into the projects. Of course, if you learn Git, you can very easily work with any other tools in the category. That's the main agenda. Expertise one tool under each category, one cloud, that is fine. You will be all fine. So here I have just given you an overview, a big picture of what each tool does. See, Terraform can create the infrastructure automatically. Once the infrastructure is automated, it can be managed, it can be configured by Ansible. Right? Once you containerize your application, if you want to containerize, you need Docker. What is meant by containerizing? It's a separate topic. Okay, all these are separate chapters or tools. You might have gone through the course content. Okay, we'll be taking up each tool. Okay, we'll learn from basics till advanced. We'll master it. Then we'll step into the other tool. Okay, so that once we learn two tools, we'll put them into the pipeline. Okay, so Git, Jenkins, Maven, Docker. This is the order in which we'll learn the tools. Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Prometheus, Grafana. Of course, see, AWS services we'll be learning from the beginning. Whenever we have a need for an AWS service, we'll learn that service and go on. We'll not learn that as a separate part. We'll learn them integrated in the code so that you know where each service of AWS can be used. Okay, there is a question from Prabhakaran. If the ops team's work is completely automated by DevOps engineer or the methodology, requirement of DevOps engineer would reduce day by day, right? If ops team work is completely, how is that, Prabhakaran? Okay, you mean you are automating, right? See, once it is automated, yes, only the DevOps engineer with the strongest skill set will survive in the market. That's what I'm saying, automation. Initially, you need more DevOps people, isn't it? Always this design happens, or else later on you may have to modify the pipeline by integrate new stages. So DevOps person need is already always there, but initially you need more DevOps persons. As we go by, yes, it is going to be completely automated. So if you don't know these tools, you will not have any scope as well. So you should learn the skill set, you should thoroughly master the skills. Ops teams were still there. In some projects, there'll be separate ops team who will manage the underlying infrastructure. Let's say your infrastructure is on-prem, or else your company is having their own data center. There might be a separate ops team who will manage their data centers and all. Ops teams are still there. DevOps engineer, initially more people are needed. Later on, it is less. Like once it is automated, yes. But the strongest, always DevOps person is needed, but only the strongest person, like person with strongest skill set will survive. Always, see, new projects will be coming up, right? So how to do that? Those should be automated. In this project, your work, your role may be completed, but there's another project starting tomorrow. Again, a DevOps person is needed. Yeah. In that way, DevOps engineer will have a scope always. But if you don't learn DevOps because you think it's only automation once, but then every project is going to be automated. There's no scope for manual operations team in deployments. Okay. And a question from Susmita. So for being a DevOps engineer, should we know all the tools, functions, or knowledge? Yes, Susmita, you should know this complete skill set. But which tool you master, which tool you want to expertise, because out of all these tools, you may be mastering, you may be certified in some of the tools. So how do you choose which tool to get master, which tool you should work more? Okay, that you will get understanding once you get into the CI/CD pipeline. Which tool you should learn more, right? So which tool you should expertise, that you will get an understanding once you start working with the CI/CD pipeline. Any more questions from anyone? So yeah, like I said, from our day one, tomorrow, this is just an introduction to DevOps, like why DevOps came in, what it does, but how to automate this, isn't it? That is what we'll be learning from tomorrow. We'll be starting with the first tool in our course, Git. Okay, we'll be learning what is a version control system, what is Git, what are other version control system, Git architecture, differences of Git with some other tools, right? Once you learn it thoroughly till advanced concepts, we will integrate it with the Jenkins. Slowly we'll be building this pipeline in our course day by day. By the time we reach this pipeline, like by the time we complete this pipeline, you will get a complete picture. DevOps is so huge. Okay, in a day one you cannot master, you don't get complete clarity, because lot many things are involved. Day by day you can connect the dots, what we are talking about here. You'll be getting more clarity as we go by, right? And yeah, one more thing is complete lab setup. We'll be working on AWS. So how to work on AWS, how to create a free account, how to create a lab, everything I'll do in the class, I'll teach you. Also, there is a documentation. Okay, once you register with the course, you'll be getting complete access to this lab setup on everything. Can you all see this? Right? So here you have lab setup on AWS, Linux basics, everything, the hands-on, the commands, the lab setup, everything is there, documented along with interview questions, resumes, everything is there. This will be shared to you once you are registered, right? And also everyday class recordings will be provided so that you can go through. Definitely, you need to put your effort, do some hands-on. Don't just listen and go away. Do the hands-on. Okay, if you are stuck up at any point of time, we'll be creating a WhatsApp group with our batch. Okay, so that you can post it in the group. Anyone can respond. Even if I am busy, others can respond. Students, you can interact. And once I get to the questions, I would be responding. So you don't get delay in response. Okay, you know what other people are doing, what other people are working on, right? On which topic they are doing hands-on. So you can stay connected, stay motivated through the end. That is very important. Okay, learning in the initial days, then leaving the course later, because that's what we notice. Yeah, people put effort initial days, later on they just get diverted. Stay motivated, stay focused till the end of the course, learn thoroughly. Definitely you can through the interviews and work in your projects very confidently. This I can assure you. I have many students in my previous batches who have cleared, who have got multiple offers as a DevOps person, who are experienced people who want to switch their career. This is the best option. Why this is the best option? Because we are dealing with end-to-end scenarios. Complete pipeline will be built. Like you will see the flow of how the application reaches end users or through automation. Okay, complete real scenarios will be learned. And whenever we are learning anything, we'll be talking from the perspective of interviews so that you can handle your interviews and clear them. So that's the main essence of this course. Any more questions from anyone? I have explained about the notes, the lab setup, everything. Yes, recordings will be available, Zayan. Everyday class recording will be shared.
How much
Yes,
duration for this training?
yes. Come again, please.
How much duration for this training?
It
Duration.
takes almost 2 months, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyday class starts at 6 a.m. IST, 6 a.m. Indian time.
Okay. 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 Fine. Thank you.
It will be 1 hour, 15 minutes to 1.5 hour session. 1 hour, 15 minutes the class, and then queries if you have.
Okay.
So stay focused, stay motivated for the 2 months. That will help.
Yeah. What type of services we have to use in this DevOps?
What type of services? You mean AWS services or the tool?
AWS services, like what type of services we can use in this DevOps level?
See, all the services, particularly to DevOps, are AWS code commit, code build, code deploy, code pipeline. Okay, we'll be also learning other services like S3, EC. Okay, we'll be,
Like as EC2, S3 storages,
yes, and also
Lambda. This.
we'll be learning a paid service for Kubernetes, which is EPS, then advanced and a paid service. Okay, we'll be going
Okay.
through that as well. Here is the course content. Okay, so today we were talking about this DevOps. Okay, then we'll be talking about second one is this, but tomorrow we'll be starting on it and we'll be taking up in this at a later point of time. We'll be
Okay.
learning
Okay.
starting it tomorrow. Here are the services. S3 service, Elastic Beanstalk service, ECR, ECS, all of this will be covered, and also other AWS services are at the end. AWS
Okay.
code deploy, code pipeline.
Okay. 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 Fine. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
So yeah, that is all from my end. Any questions, you can reach me on WhatsApp or you can reach your organizers. Right? See you all tomorrow and bye everyone.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so the timing are going to be fixed like 6 a.m. only, right?
Yes, Amit, timing is going to be the same, 6 a.m. every day, fixed timing.
Okay.
6 a.m. to 7:15 every day, the class, and then questionnaire. Same timings throughout. Welcome, Prabhakaran. Thank you everyone for joining. See you all tomorrow. Bye everyone.
Thank you, Preeti. Bye.